they regularly assess how things are going and how the kids are doing and whether or not the school is achieving its bigger goals, and they're willing to pivot and adapt and use the resources that are available. And I appreciate that.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
Sure. Well, for us, it's sort of our oldest son, Sam, when he started kindergarten, we looked at what he was getting and what we wanted him to have. And our focus was really on a relevant education for this generation. And we looked around for different schools to see who was doing that. First of all, he was in the public system, which we were quite happy to have him in. And we had hoped to keep him in public school, but we also were in a position where we had the means and the resources to do something bigger. And so when we couldn't find what we were looking for in an independent school or a public school, we decided to take the very big step of starting a school ourselves. And so what we were looking for our kids and for other kids was a school that was focused on educating the kids for their future. And so for us, that meant creative and mindful use of technology, problem solving, an idea, like a perspective on where they were in the world and who they were. And so yeah, that's what we were, and we also wanted it to be a fun community school that was accessible for lots of kids. And so with the position that we were in, having the money and the means to do it ourselves, we decided basically it was the saying, if not me, then who? It was that sort of thing that was like, well, we couldn't find exactly what we wanted. And so we took the very big and bold step of starting Claren Academy ourselves and making the school that we wanted for our kids. Oh, sure. So we're a small school. We've got, so Clarion Academy has about 60 kids from K to 6. It's adding a grade each year. I did ask my sons before this interview because I thought this question might come up. So I asked my kids what their favorite thing about coming to school is. And my older son, who's in grade 6, said Mandarin and technology time. So that's when the kids do a lot of tinkering and a lot of playing around with a lot of hands-on sort of technology. And my younger son just said seeing his friends and coming to school. The thing that I hear from their friends a lot and from the other parents is that the Clarion market is really popular. The kids do a long-term project every year where they design and prototype and produce and market a product of any kind that they want. So the results can be pretty out there, but they're pretty neat. And so the things that I hear from my kids and from their friends tend to be the experiential things, like the being right in the middle of downtown and the field trips, but also the market and tech time and languages and getting to really do the things that they're learning about seems to be what they like the most, and just their friends. What I appreciate the most, I think I would say I appreciate the flexibility and the responsiveness of the educators they regularly assess how things are going and how the kids are doing and whether or not the school is achieving its bigger goals, and they're willing to pivot and adapt and use the resources that are available. And I appreciate that because it's definitely, there's a lot of focus on the kids learning how to assess themselves and how to be honest about their skills and what they're good at and what they need help with. And I find that the staff and the school in general is also willing to look at what's, if Claren Academy, if the school is achieving its goals, and what needs to be done. And so I think that, but also just the community, like it's just a really nice group of parents. And, you know, all of us have come from different areas of the city for the most part, but really strong friendships have come up in the last few years. And that's been also just, I couldn't imagine my kids anywhere else because of their friends and the friends that we've made as well. I think just staying, I want the school to keep pushing the envelope and staying progressive, because I can see from other schools and you know, from looking at other models that it could you know, become just an excellent private school. And of course, what we want as parents and you know, as one of the founders of the school, is for it to keep on evolving and growing. And we also, I also would like to see it stay accessible to as many families as possible. So yeah, I'd say just staying ambitious. So that would be the thing that I would, so I guess it's more of just sort of a concern as the school goes than something to improve. But yeah, there's always the challenge with size, being an urban school. Like, of course, we'd like to have, we always want to have more room. So the school moved into a new campus this year, which is great and really exciting. But of course, they're always, you know, there's always the look to what the next space is going to be and how it's going to continue to grow. So yeah, those are the things. Just staying solvent and healthy as a growing school. How much community there could be downtown is something that was surprising, and that a lot of other parents, when they are first learning about the school, are, you know, we have parent ambassadors and things, and when they talk, are sort of more casual, like we will connect new families with current families, and there's often the question of like, well, are the kids comfortable being right in downtown Vancouver? And that's been a real pleasant surprise, is seeing how much there is for the kids right downtown and how accessible. Also, the one surprise too that was a pleasant surprise is that the public parks can be good playgrounds for the kids. That's definitely been good to see, that, you know, as an urban school, we don't have our own playground. Clarion doesn't have its own playground, its own dedicated playground, but just how much community and how much activity the kids can get in public spaces has been a nice, pleasant surprise, with always with safety in mind. Like, the parent volunteers and the teachers are always really conscious of where we are. The thing that I would say is experiential learning. That would be the jargon term for it. But for the kids, they would say the tinkering and the hands-on learning and the play. Like, I think that's been the highest value, is seeing the kids be encouraged to try things and fail at them and try them again, and get that immediate feedback. I'd say that's probably the highest value, is just the resources and the encouragement to play and tinker and really do things and solve problems creatively. There's a lot of sort of why not questions and I've seen that attitude change with my own kids. They're in grade 6 and grade 4. And I've definitely seen them evolve over the last 5 years to be more brave, I'd say, with taking chances and speaking up for themselves and solving problems. And I think that that's a real, I mean, the academics are strong. The one-to-one technology is great. The teachers are wonderful, but sort of the harder things to pin down, like the soft skills of being kind and decent problem solvers. That's what I value the most for my kids. it's an interesting thing. And I mean, this is one where I can't really separate out my role as parent and founder, because of course I'm the first point of contact for a lot of parents when they contact the school. And I would say that what we've worked hard to keep, and what I've seen result with the as a result with the parents, is that the school takes a lot of time to make sure that the parents who come on board understand what the vision and the mission of the school is, and what Clarion Academy is and isn't, because it would be very easy to become just an excellent private school. And so when families come to the school, this Clarion Academy is very clear with them that, we're not necessarily your university prep school or your, a Clarion learner. What a Clarion learner is, what we're looking for is a kind child who's a problem solver, who's brave, and who does have the ability to work at the level of the kids as they come in. And then for the parents, what that tends to correspond to is parents who are a little bit outside the box, because it's a very new school. We're going into our 5th year. So to be jumping in into a new school, it's definitely people who are willing to try something different and are looking for something different for their kids. And also, they tend to be people who want to contribute to their school community because they made a choice and are excited to be there. Public schools in BC are fantastic. And so, for parents, first of all, to be choosing an independent school, and then to be looking for something very specific like what's at Claren Academy, they tend to be pretty invested. So our parent community is really great. There's, especially for only being 5 years old, there's the Clarion Academy Parent Association is very active. And their mandate is to improve the experience of all of the kids and to have social connections for the parents. And so with that, they have social events, but they also run extracurriculars, and they fund wish lists for the teachers. And they ran a really successful sportathon this past year where the kids got to raise money for projects that they wanted. And so, yeah, it's a very well organized and very busy group. And then also for parents that don't have the time or the inclination to be involved in a formal parent association, there's a lot of opportunities, pick up and drop off, to chat with everybody and to communicate with the parents. Have a couple of really active chat groups that parents are involved in. And yeah, as I was saying before, there's just been some really wonderful friendships spring up. Like whenever I check in with families, my friends through the summer, all the kids are playing together and they're in camps together, and it's just been, and I'd say about half of our families live downtown and half of them live in other parts of the city, and they just tend to get together and sign up for the same stuff. And it's been really rewarding over the last 5 years to see the community grow and to see the parents really take ownership. Managed to do, even with COVID, the school did manage to do some performances online and things like that. And so my older son was really proud of the skills he picked up in guitar this year. And he made a lot of progress with ukulele and guitar, and he was really proud to show that off. I think my younger son, Toby, would probably say his market project he was super proud of this past year. As I mentioned, with the Clarion Market, the kids get to come up with a product. And Toby came up with Toby's taco test tubes, which were test tubes full of taco seasoning, and they sold out in the market. And he was very proud of himself because he had to do it from start to finish, the logo and the write-up and the recipe and the mixing and all that stuff. And so I think that was probably for him to see it go start to finish, and then to see people purchase it. And then we've had friends send us pictures of the night that they made the tacos and they used Toby's taco test tube and that kind of thing. And so I think that's probably been, and Toby was also really, really proud when the school uses a level literacy and math program, so the kids can work at the level that they're really at. And Toby got bumped up into a math group because he had a different math group because he worked really, really hard to get there, and he was very proud of that. So I think but yeah, it's really nice. There's a lot of moments where the kids come home quite happy with themselves, but I think those are big ones from this past year specifically. I'd say the experience has been that I appreciate how much work goes into helping the kids learn how to assess their own work. That the teachers use a really unique reporting. It is unique because they came up with it, a reporting system that they call the report folios, where the kids write assessments of their own work, and then the teachers comment on them, and parents can comment on it as well. And so that's and there's definitely the teachers do remind the parents that it's really important to let the kids try things themselves and possibly fail at them and struggle. And so that's been a thing that as a mom is sometimes, you don't want to see your kids struggle, but then I've seen the results of them learning things on their own and the pride. And so I think that's sort of been a main experience for me, is that the teachers and the principal are all really patient about educating parents about the value of having the kids try things themselves and solve their problems creatively, and sort of just stepping back and trusting that the kids can do it. And then that's been very rewarding. So I'd say that's my main experience as a mom with the teachers, and really great communication. There's just a lot of communication that comes home. I would say the brand new campus is really beautiful. That's right downtown. So the school's moved into a new campus with beautiful resources and very mindfully designed. I would say that's a major thing. And I would say the advantage we're giving our kids of preparing them for their real future. So that I feel that my kids are getting trained in things and getting tools for things that are genuinely going to help them be happy and kind and successful adults. And what more do you want for your kids, right? So they're getting the academics and the tools in terms of, mindful use of technology and financial literacy and problem solving and self-expression and communication, but they're also getting a really strong education in growth mindset and mindfulness and kindness. So they're also going to be good people, and that's what more do you want for your kids? So I'd say that's number two. Number one would be, the campus and the resources, the type of people that I would see that they're going to be, and also just that my kids are happy to go to school every day. They love to go, and I see all their friends go into the school also, skipping and happy and laughing. And what more do you want for your kids? I would say, chat with the other parents and get to know them, and make sure that you make use of that community, because everyone's very welcoming. And I would say just get ready to see your kids be challenged but proud of themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's because it's very tempting to swoop in and do things for your kids, right? There's my back here. But it's really important at Clarion Academy, and I think in life in general, to let the kids to be prepared to let your kids try and watch them come up with crazy things like for their market projects, and see how it plays out and let them do it.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.